Hello, my friends. I welcome you to another episode of Aditya Talks. And today is another Saturday, and then I'm bringing you another story. I hope your day's been is going to be good or was good. But I today bring you Mr. Sriram Gadgil, and he is going to share his wisdom and his knowledge. He is a retired military officer, and he has fought in many wars over his lifespan, so he has lots of interesting experience and stories. So for learning sake and for enjoying sake, stay tuned till the end, and of course subscribe. No, subscribe and stay tuned for more interviews as well. But moving on, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Aditya.
So
Okay, yeah.
yeah. So first of all, welcome to the show. It's an honor to interview you, and I hope I will learn a lot today. Of course, I'm going to learn a lot today, but I think let's begin. Sir, you have fought many wars, as I said previously, like Kargil War and many others. Can you share your experience from the war, and any specific experience which you want to highlight from your experience when you were fighting these wars?
Aditya, firstly, thank you for having me on this show and giving me opportunity to, share my thoughts and experiences. And full compliments to you, for taking such an innovative initiative, of speaking with people from different walks of life, and sharing those videos which may be of help to we all. I mean, learning never ends. Like I am really amazed or awed by the way your confidence and the way you are conducting it. So it's worth learning. So that is it. Now coming to your question, yeah, I had the opportunity to fight one war. I would have considered myself lucky, but war is, no country likes war, and our country is, peace loving country, and of course, but when the enemy stares at us, we don't let him win on any battle. I was commissioned in 1998 in one of the finest battalions of the Indian Army. It is the 19th Battalion, Jammu and Kashmir Rifles. And as you all know, the Kargil War broke out somewhere in May 1999. My battalion was that time in Kupwada, which is on the line of control, which is in Jammu and Kashmir. So then we were moved to the battle zone, and in a war, it is not that just one battalion, that everyone is just going for attack and fighting, having a physical battle with the enemy. There are many things that are happening around. So initially, when some battalions were deployed, or when they were tasked for attacking and evicting the enemy from the heights, our battalion was tasked to do the picketing, as we say, along the Leh Srinagar highway from Zojila and to Drass and beyond. The aim was to prevent any militants sneaking inside and having any issues with the or with the logistics, that is logistic chain, or disrupting logistic chain, that is going for the troops who are fighting the war. And then as the turnover happens, that turnover was done, and my battalion was also launched in Mushkoh Valley. In the meanwhile, the enemy, the way the attacks were going on, they requested for a ceasefire, but they are not to be believed, the way they are. So my battalion was launched to clear the area in general area Munthung, and I was a youngster just with 1 year of service, and we had one of the finest group of officers and the Jawans, and the teams were launched, uh, as we say, patrols, to clear off and establish posts right up to the line of control. And I was also tasked uh, with a patrol, and uh, I was very lucky to have, again, as I said, one of the finest troops in the Indian Army with me. So this peak was, I can say, bang on the LC. LC is the line of control, and the gradient at which this peak was, it was almost 70-80 degrees gradient. Uh, Artillery shelling was continuously on, and of course the enemy, as we say, small arms fire, that is a fire from their rifles, was also on. And we were also negotiating the snow clad re-entrance. I mean, those nalas which are there in the hills, where there's no sunlight, so the snow remains intact even in summers. So we were negotiating that, and negotiating the climb with all the weapons, ammunitions, uh, and finally we were successful in establishing the peak on 20th of July 1999. And the peak was, as I said, bang on the LC. We were very close to the enemy. It is at almost 16,400 feet, and we were there for about a month, because my battalion's turnover was there to come move to the peace station. So then we were replaced by troops of the other battalion. During this period of 1 month, I was suffering, from a bit of fever, stomach ache, but I never, and I was, I had lost some appetite, but I never reported this, because I thought it's high altitude effect, and because I had just come back from leave, so probably that must be the. So I just ignored it. And once the war was over and we were moving down after handing over, when I moved to the base, which is near the Muntung Nala, I collapsed. And that very moment, the regimental doctor, it is I didn't know, the RMO, regimental medical officer, he checked and he diagnosed that I was suffering from appendicitis. Immediately I was unconscious, and I was moved by the army aviation helicopter to the advanced dressing station, and from there, within an hour or so, I was moved by the air force helicopter to Srinagar, in the base hospital, and I was admitted that very night. So today I am, I am alive and sitting and talking in front of you because of my battalion, the doctors, the pilots in army and air force. That is Indian Army for you, or the armed forces for you. They take care of each and every person. It's a family. So that is the thing. And you had asked that a specific thing. Yeah, I do remember. There are many things. Of course, uh, the artillery shelling and all these things, that was happening. The peak where I reached, where we had established a post, had a very small place, small area, rather, I would say, at the top. And if one has to stay there and sustain, water is a basic requirement for human being. So the closest water source was a stream, which, for climbing down, one required almost 2.5 hours, and for climbing up, 3 to 4 hours. And I always remember the words of my company commander. He had said that the survival of the fittest. Gadgil, it is a survival of the fittest. And that's how I was thinking somehow I should come up with some solution. Generally, the peaks, they are covered with snow, and that is generally available even in the summers. You melt it and you use it. But as I said, the gradient was like 70 degrees, absolutely 70-80 degrees. So no, the snow, it never stayed on the peak. It used to generally move down. There was a small patch, very small patch of snow, and it was melting also fast. So then with the help of my troops, we dug a very small pit just below the tip from where it was melting, from where the snow was melting, and we slowly slipped the plastic. We had some plastic packing material from the rations that we were receiving, so we slowly just slipped it below that, and we placed some stones to avoid, because it's very windy, to avoid the plastic to just vanish. And the we were able to capture this snow which was melting. Yeah, there was one method of breaking the snow, or trying to break it, but in that process we would have probably lost the entire piece of snow or ice which was there. And people may think it's just a small thing, but at that place, carrying water for 3 hours in high altitude where breathing is a major issue. I mean, it's very difficult. Oxygen levels are very low. So that I mean, I feel very satisfied with this. And when I was admitted after my surgery, I was just thinking, and when the officers came and met me, I realized that the importance of that particular peak of establishing a post, because of course the enemy also wanted to come and sit there, because this that was the most dominating peak or most dominating feature in that particular area. So I was very satisfied, and I'm still satisfied that me, along with my team, we could contribute a bit to the entire operations of the Kargil War, or Op Vijay as it is known. So that is my small little experience of one war. I have not fought more wars, but only one war. Uh, that is it. Yeah,
Sir, I don't know how you faced all these draw how these much challenges over your lifespan, and I seriously respect you and all the army people, army officers across India who are doing so much work and have faced so many challenges for us. But sir, what lessons can today's youth draw from the Kargil War, and what can people learn generally from all these army from all the from all army officers?
yeah. See, whether it is army officers or the Jawans or the Air Force or the Navy, uh, war is the ultimate thing that can happen. It's a do or die. Either you win or you lose. There is no runner up. And what we are waging today is not just a full-fledged war that we say, the conventional war. What Kargil also was a kind of conventional war. Those who are deployed today in the counter-insurgency operations, for them also it's a daily war, whether it's in J&K or Northeast, and today also staying at in the Siachen, manning the borders is itself a war. And these are, I would say, the ultimate situations. In such a situation, what army has trained us is that you should give your best. I mean, as I said, there are no runner up, and there is no runner up in war. What one can draw, what one can learn from this, I mean, be it any profession, there are crunch situations, there are crunch moments. I would say what is happening in COVID, our doctors and the frontline workers, they also displayed what we in the armed forces have displayed. In the current situation, give your best. So, what a youth can, learn from this is, wherever he or she is in, if they are working in a company and they have certain targets which are very important, and in current situations, they should give their best. They should put their best foot forward. You will have to sacrifice certain things. You have to sacrifice your sleep. You sacrifice your comfort at times, but the satisfaction that you will draw is immense. There are no words, and no, you will not get satisfaction even though you are paid crores, but from the work that you could complete, or you could stand up to the occasion on current situations for your organization. So that is what one learns from these things. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think I also agree with you on this, and I believe there's. I think this is one thing. These are many things, but I think youth can learn a lot from army officers and and soldiers working in the army, and I think they should respect them and always respect this career. Since I don't think this this career is getting as much as respect it should be getting among youth, at least, because a lot of people say that they want to become engineer, doctors, and all of that, but they say, why do I become an army person, and this is such a bad career. But actually there are people out there who took this career in order to save your lives and keep this country safe. So I think this career demands a lot of this army demands a lot of respect from youth and people across India. But sir, moving on, how did you
Yeah.
face the uncertainties of war? Were you ever scared or during the war?
With regards to the uncertainties, I would say, look, the training in the army or the armed forces is such that it's not just theoretical. You know, you're taught the theory, and then rehearsals is a major portion of our training. And secondly, is the contingency planning. You are mentally trained, physically trained to face uncertainties. So I mean, once someone has trained his mind that, okay, I am going to face uncertainties, it is very easy for that person to face uncertainties. If one feels okay, I am going to move from place A to place B, as per the Google it is showing, say, half an hour, you never know what is in store for you on the road. So I'm talking similarly, uncertainties are always there. And in war, or in the we are trained for war, and the training itself teaches us to face and accept and negotiate the uncertainties. So yes, those were there, and we faced it, and we negotiated with as we were trained. And scared, I would say, yes and no, because all of us, yes, uh, no one was scared to sacrifice his or her life, because in war, or once you join this, these things are acceptable. But yes, at times, the when you are caught unaware by the thunderous noise of the artillery shell, suddenly, it made our heart skip the beat. So that is, I would say. Otherwise, yes, we're not that kind of scared, but artillery shelling at times used to, uh, fry this thing a bit. Yeah.
uh, I think that I think I also agree with you, and you faced so many uncertainties, and you're still here. But
Yeah.
how did army training get you ready for all the things that you were going to face at the war? Of course, you never knew the war was coming, but how, like you said, they trained you to face and negotiate with the uncertainties. How did they do that?
uh, I mean, that is part of the training. So when they train you, all the aspects of war, whether taking defenses or attacking, and as I said, ambush, patrolling, these all are. I mean, war is not just you go as we see in the movie. There are many aspects to it. There's a logistics part, everything. So when the training takes place in the academy, that time itself it starts, and this training capsules don't stop. we have certain courses. It begins with the young officers course. So from there itself, we have training, we have stand model discussions. Then we have something known as exercises, where situation is given to you, situation is given to the battalion or the brigades and all, and that's how the training takes place from a lowest level till the highest level in the army or for the armed forces. So training is very important part in the army, and it is a continuous process. So you're always mentally in that zone. Yeah.
Uh, so I think this is I think what I think facing uncertainties is, of course, in war. I think it takes it to an extreme level, but over life, a lot of people face ups and downs throughout their lives, and a lot of children, of course, are not ready to face these all uncertainties, and be like solve every problem at a single glance, since every child is trained that if I get a plus plus on test, I will solve everything in life, and that is not how life works. So I think what would your advice be on youth being able, like how youth can face all these uncertainties on in their life and be resistance to all the ups and downs they face and get back up.
You know, today actually world is facing uncertainties, and COVID has taught us many things. We have switched over from the offline platform to the online platform. So it's not easy for children. Yes, it is difficult because these things cannot be it's not the age, so they should move out, play, but I would say that uh, right from the beginning, the parents should always teach the child that you always have more than one options for any and every situation. And what is required is a mental training. That okay, as you mentioned, the A plus plus is not required everywhere. Yes, it gives you understanding of the academic abilities of a person, but that does not mean that a person is bad totally. So that thing is required to be drilled into firstly the parents, who generally focus only on the academic results, and they often cannot see the abilities of the children on other aspects. And similarly, what I believe is that it's not important to uh, you know have many degrees. If I am having many degrees and I earn a lot, I'm sitting in a BMW, but I don't follow the traffic signals, so I would say so and so person is literate till engineering and MBA, he's not educated. So as a parent, we need to educate our children, not just make them literate. And this is what our youth should also understand. So and if I am educated, automatically uncertainties keep coming in life, and they will be ready to face them. So that is what it is. Not important whether a person mugs it up that 2 plus 2 is 4, but it is important that how a child understand how you add 2 and 2. That is very important. So that will help him in any situations which come his way, his or her way. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, sir, now that I've taken a little bit of a detour, let's move on.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
uh, sir, what do you think? Army life, like army life has been like the major part of your career. Now that you're retired,
Yes.
what do you think? changed you when you were in the army, and how did army life affect you as a person?
It's not only me. You meet any person from armed forces, he or she will say the same thing, that it changes you totally as a person. Yes, I mean, generally what is known outside is, yeah, you become self-disciplined, good time management, but that is not just all that happens. There are many things that army teaches you, you know and one thing firstly which I feel is that approach to a situation, or approaching any task, project, I would say, uh, any project, big or small, or any operation, army has a methodical way. You always plan, and when you plan, you consider all the factors. It's a major project, it's a major operation. You document all these things, but you're mentally trained in this particular fashion. So you plan your project or a small task also. You consider all the aspects, you do mental appreciation, and contingency planning is very important. If this thing happens, what will I do? That this should be my response. Then while planning, the communication uh, in your team, whoever the team members are involved or whoever are affected, communicating with them. So that is as far as the planning part is concerned. Now I'm talking about the approach to any task or project. Then comes the execution, and before execution, as I said, rehearsing like, I'll tell you today, we had planned this. So I just for 5 minutes in the evening, uh, I switched on the video and I saw how I'm speaking. How, these are small little things. You just rehearse whatever task, whatever small little this thing project is there. And during the execution, again, communication is very important part. But as I said, contingency planning. If something goes wrong, everyone should be communicated. They should know the drills, that okay, this thing happens, we should react in this manner. And this principle of approaching a task will help you everywhere and anywhere, whether you are in the civil world or even your personal life also. And lastly, the biggest thing that the armed forces teach us is the lessons learned after any project or anything and everything. What is the lesson learned? Okay, I got the papers. My daughter is in 12th now. After the exams, where has she gone wrong? Where she, what emphasis or which part of the subject she should lay emphasis? Like, these are the lessons learned from that project or from that task. Then where is the, you do some gap analysis, and then you recommend recommendations for the changes. I'm just telling you at a bigger level, but even at smaller level, even at your personal tasks and personal goals, this is the format. If you approach any task this way, the chances of you succeeding are more. Secondly, as a leader, ownership of the result, especially the failure. If it is me as a leader, I should take responsibility for failure of my team. And of course, if something good happens also, it's a team. Like the peak where I went, because I was leading the peak, leading the team, the post, I forgot to mention that time, the post has been named after me, but it was a team effort, it was the battalion's effort. you know that is why. So it is not that it has been named as RC Kargil, but RC Kargil of 19 Battalion, the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles. So it is a team. So as a leader, you should take the ownership of the failures. That's very important. And other aspect which I learned was being calm under pressure. If you are calm under pressure, then you can think positively, and your mind, it gives you options which help you in negotiating the problem. uh, and of course, taking care of every member of your team. In army, your battalion is your family. So There are about 400 to 800 troops, depending upon the regiment and the armed service. But it's your family. So, taking care of them, everyone, today also when we meet like, family members. गले मिलते कभी ऐसे नहीं होता है कि दूर से सिर्फ हाय किया मिलने के बाद. No, that is the feeling. It's as if you are meeting the family members. So these are some things which I feel I have learned and many have learned, which probably in the public domain it is people might not be aware. They might think only about, yes, self discipline, as I said, time management and punctuality. These things are there definitely, but there's some more things which I feel, army has taught me. Uh, and at least as of now I can remember it. Army has taught me many more things, but is what I can recollect now. Yeah. Yeah, Aditya.
Yes, sir. I agree on the leadership part, and accounting is also. I think you should account for every action you do, and I think I also agree with that. That also gives you a sense of responsibility in life. But, sir, moving on,
Yeah.
as you said before, you have been suffering from chronic spine injury for about 17, 18 years. So, how have you
Yeah.
kept yourself motivated from then to now? And and you have so how do you keep yourself motivated and go about your daily life with such a big injury?
Again, I would say it's not very easy, very frankly speaking. It's not easy. It is the accepting the situation is very important, and not cribbing what one has lost. Rather, one should always have a positive attitude. Ki, what I have gained. And there are many examples around, which help you to keep yourself motivated. So, I mean, those who are suffering more difficulties. When I am facing difficulty, I should not look at a person who is in a better situation. Yes, I must look at him and try to reach that place. Like I had an injury. I have been a player since my childhood. I have played hockey, but unfortunately, after the injury, after this particular surgery of my spine, it was difficult. I am still not. I still cannot play any of these games. But then accepting it, uh, and setting goals for oneself. Okay, that I will do this. I want to reach at this place. I should be able to start mountaineering. That should be your ultimate, aim. Like in my case, I have decided I want to. One day will come when I will start again mountaineering. So if you set some goals in front of you, that helps you to remain motivated. And as I said, I mean, have a never said attitude. I have tried so many therapies. I mean, with whatever people have told, I have tried therapies like acupuncture. 40 needles were pricked in my body for my nothing happened. I mean, but still, one should not feel I didn't try. So keep trying. And as I said, there are many people who are having more sufferings. Take positives from what you are. Because of my injury, there were situations where I admitted in the military hospitals. I had enough time to think. So I utilize that time to just think. You know, people should also utilize time for thinking on different issues. It need not be only your professional and thing. Some social issues you should think. So that is how I, uh, as I said, set long-term, short-term, and medium-term goals. I would say analogy of a test cricket. In a test cricket, it's a 5-day game. I am a test cricket fan. They say you play your innings over by over or session by session. Yes, your aim is to win the test match, but just you have that in your mind, you will get out. So you play session by session, play ball by ball, and you can bounce back. So that is how. Be positive. That is very important. Never give up. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, uh, sir, sir, I think you having faced such a big injury and still going on as a flame, and I hope you do so much more in the future. And despite this injury, I think you're pretty well off. Since I think that's because you don't be you're not scared from anything. This is just a small thing. But moving on, sir, what is your view on today's youth? um how can the youth like be better, and what do you think today's youths lack?
One of my seniors had told me, and I also believe, I won't say what youths lack. It is a time tested thing that every new generation which comes, it is more brilliant, it is more talented. So I would say the new generation just coming, it is more talented, it is more brilliant. They have different challenges, and they have, I would say, different privileges. So it the way they react is because of that. It's nothing different. Had I been in their place, I've been in your place, or I've been in my son's place, I would have reacted the same way, the way you people are. But I feel you people are more intelligent. So that is a positive thing, which we should say. I am not in favor कि हमारे टाइम पे ऐसे होता था and all, you know, that typical sentence. But yes, what I would say, the rate of change is has increased. The change is happening very fast. What was there, I would say, when we were kids, things were not changing for almost 10 years. Now it's not the case. Now within a year or 6 months, I heard that the your smartphone gets older, you don't get the spare parts also, because now that smartphone has become old. It is outdated. Yeah, it has become outdated. I was trying to find out the exact word. So the rate of change has increased. So how should youth tackle this? Because it's not easy, as I said. uh, Now these all are distractions. uh, Mobile has become a vital organ of the body. If I tell someone, to two friends to meet each other at a decided place without mobile, I think so it's not only possible for them. They cannot even dream कि ऐसा भी होता है कि बिना मोबाइल के एक दूसरे से मिल सकते हो. So what the new generation of youth should do is they should deliberately dissociate themselves from gadgets on daily basis. You should decide. And unfortunately, the COVID, the screen exposure, the use of I would say laptops and mobile has increased exponentially. So they should make a deliberate effort to move away from gadget. I know it's difficult because of COVID you cannot move out also. Secondly, what is required is patience, because uh, as I remember, when we were kids, there was no markets close by, or if I had to buy something, one had to plan. If I had to buy a shirt or a t-shirt, or firstly it was not so frequently. Today everything is at fingertips. I want to eat tandoori chicken, I want to eat a pizza, I just book it on one of the many apps, and that is delivered to me. If I want to buy a t-shirt, even at midnight, I will just place an order on Amazon, Flipkart, or any of these portals. So we are losing patience because of availability. I want it now, it is available tomorrow. So this is actually the harm of the technology that we are seeing.
Yes.
Yeah. Then because of that, what has happened, the reaction of that is, kids, they don't like to hear no from their parents. Now, till the time a person he's a child, he or she's a child, it's okay. But once they join the profession, their seniors, when they say no, then they cannot tolerate this. So it's very then the stress in levels increases. So parents should say no, and even they should train the children to hear no. So then, and secondly, they cannot tolerate criticism also. Criticism is required. Criticism is required. I should be criticized so that I can improve myself. Again, that is leading to short tempers. So these things, people need to increase the patience. As I said, stay away from the gadgets, decide a time. And because of this, the result is that there is a lack in physical exercises, running, walking, or physical sports, outdoor sports. So these are the things I would say. I won't say lack, because lack is a negative word. I would say that these are the reactions
These-
of whatever is the advancement, and that's how they should train themselves, train their minds, I would say. So this is a bit what has come to my mind. Yeah,
I think I also agree with you. Screen time, I think, is one of the most. I guess I'm not arguing that mobile phones and laptops and desktops have not improved like our lives, but I think when children, of course, children get exposed to such technologies and get addicted, I think that is going over the board. And of course, what got us here was physical work, and when we do actual work, I think we should have a taste of both. You should always be physically
yeah,
active, and you should also be technologically advanced. I think
yeah,
that's the correct mix
yeah.
in at least in your early days. But sir,
Balance is required. Yeah, yeah.
yes, yes, sir. Um, sir, what are your thoughts on dealing with failures in life?
Uh, I feel that one should not have a word again like as a lack. Similarly, failure is a negative word. So never think that, oh, I have faced a failure. Remove it from your dictionary. See, there are ups and downs in everyone's life. That's what I said. Your previous question is related that kids these days don't hear no from their parents. So if their the boss, he or she says no, this is incorrect. What you have produced is not up to the mark. You feel it's a failure. No, it's not a failure. It's part and parcel of life. Similarly, something goes wrong. These are ups and downs. One should always remember these are ups and downs, and this is a part of life. You know, you should take it as a setback. Analyze. If there is a setback, I say you should sit back, analyze, and follow the one of the principles which we in armed forces follow is lessons learned. Where I have gone wrong, one should think on those. Okay, this is what it may happen that your efforts you have not gone wrong on any count. Now, when COVID happened, many things, many plans had to be changed. I mean, marriages and many things. So this can happen. So this is a setback, and one should believe in one's ability. Okay, I have reached here. I will I will make the most of it. And as I said, contingency planning. You should have always contingency planning. Even if you are not planned, then you should think, okay, now this has happened. Now what should I uh, how can I tackle this? And in any major, I would say, planning, you should always have contingency planning. I would say don't live in past, learn from past, whether it's your own past or others' past. You should learn from the past, and there's no point crying of one's mistakes. As I said, learn lessons learned. Learn that okay, this I have gone wrong here, and I will not repeat. And as I said, have patience. Test cricket. We can, we won the Australia series after last year after we were 0-1 down and we won three, sorry, two, yeah, 2-1. We won two matches. So and it was an excellent draw at Sydney also. So you can bounce back. Have that thing in your mind. Be positive. So that will help you.
Uh, Hello, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Um. Yes, sir. Sir. Thank you for sharing your advice on dealing with failures. And I think failures. I think for me, failures is one of the most important aspects of life, since you can face a failure. When you fail, you know, like the taste of failure is really important. When you fail 10,000 times, then you know that what is the right way.
Yeah.
And I think failing is not necessarily bad, and that is the thing that is being reduced into youth from early age, that if you get
Yeah.
70%, 60%, 30%, you fail in exams, you fail in life. So I don't think
Yeah.
it works that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on, sir. Who are your role models in the army, who have uh, who inspired you to be the top like officer and do the best you can while you were doing your service?
It's a very difficult question because see, right from my training, there were so many officers who have groomed me to be a good officer. It's very difficult, but if you ask me to pick and choose, I will. I cannot name one. Uh, like my
Yes, of
first
course,
company
sir.
commander, my first company commander in my battalion is 19 Zacharias, Colonel Sarotra. He taught me a lot, and I have learned today. I am a lot of things courtesy him. Then Colonel J.S. Virik, again, man of principles, and not only I would say, not only my Fauji ways, but otherwise also he taught many things, you know. And of course, my immediate senior, I mean, that's how the term is used in the army, immediate senior, is Colonel Rakesh Sharma. So, I mean, these three, I would, uh, it's very difficult. I mean, others, everyone else also have contributed a lot in what I am, but like those were yes, they were my role models in the army. I would say, yeah,
Yes. Um, uh, sir,
yeah.
sir, I think I wanted to ask, sir, why did you retire from the army? Because you're still young and kicking, and yours still have passion, and still you are as young as you're very young. So why did you retire so early?
Not see it was not a very easy decision. Firstly, I served in the army for 22.5 years. Uh, Not very short time also, but my injury, as I said, 17, 18, 20 years I am suffering from this, and moving every 2 years because we move from one place to other. Though I enjoyed that, but it was becoming difficult every passing year because of my health. And when because of this, I feel I was not able to, you know, contribute positively, I would say, towards the organization. Then I realized I should uh, take a decision, and also I was advised by doctors that I should stay at one place and take a continuous treatment that would help me. So and of course you have to move because that's the uh, part of your army life, moving every 2 years. So then, since these things were not matching, I thought I must take. And then there are family commitments also. I had some commitments, family commitments, domestic commitments, I would say. So then I had to take this very difficult decision of leaving the army, for which I was very passionate since my. I mean, I would say I was of your age probably when I decided. I thought that I must choose this profession. So, uh, so these are a few. You have to take some decisions. Yes, though they are difficult. So that is it.
Um, sir, I also agree because you had to leave the army at some point, and you, of course, health. You can't leave your health, since health is more important than anything in life. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think army was one aspect of your life, and you're going to do much more in the future. So there's no problem regarding that. But sir, any specific work which is close to your heart and you want to do now that you have retired from the army?
Uh, I would say I have retired from the army, but definitely not retired from working, because I do plan to start the second innings, and if all goes well, probably very soon I would start with my second innings also. And of course, army as a profession never prevented me from doing anything. Yes, because of my injury, because my entire spine, I had a cervical issue and back issue. The certain things which I couldn't actually pursue, not because of army, because army doesn't stop anyone from. But I now, once I experience some improvement with the therapy, I want to, start off painting, which I used to do some time back. I also want to learn some musical instrument. I don't know how I will, whether I'll be successful, but I want to definitely give it a try. Paintings I used to do before, but again, because of the injury, I had to, because of cervical also, I couldn't paint. So that's a couple of things which at least presently are on the agenda. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
Aditya.
sir. I also hope your second innings goes very good. And sir, please do tell me what you're going to do, and if you become and sir, one more thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, sir, do you read books? If you read books, what are the books that have made the maximum impact to you, and why? And some books that you would recommend for us.
See, I am not a vivid reader, but yeah, I do like to read, and I like to read history or biographies. So I don't know if uh, people will like, but I was impressed by people, especially during the freedom struggle. I have read those books. One on Subhash Chandra Bose. This book is in Marathi, but that is also available, the translated version. This is Mahanayak, his entire journey. And once we read that, I mean, I feel I have done nothing. It is, have just wasted our life. These people have really, I mean, it is just story of sacrifice, sacrifice, and sacrifice. So one is, I feel every youth should read Mahanayak on Subhash Chandra Bose. Also, the book on Vargas Purina, I'm forgetting its name. क्या नाम है उसका? Yeah, probably I too had a dream or something. The way the white revolution happened in our country, the way he took Amul where it is today, and it is amazing. And also similarly, biography on Tilak, which is also in Marathi. uh, it is Durdamya. So these all these people, I mean, we know very few things about them, but there are many aspects of their life, and it is full of sacrifice. So these are the, also a book on Siachen again. I'm forgetting its name. It's also worth read. What our troops, how they went in 1984, how our troops landed initially, and how we outsmarted the Pakis. So that these are the books which I would recommend people to read if they like this genre. But I generally like this kind of books. Yeah,
Yeah. So basically, war stories, and
yeah,
I also love stories. I have couple of books which are from World War II era, but I don't think they are from Indian authors and Indian backgrounds. But they are really interesting,
mm,
describing the war
yeah,
and all the tactics they used. And the Art of War by Sun is also like one of the most impactful books in humankind. But sir, moving on. Uh,
Yeah.
Sir, lastly, I hope you enjoyed the show. My viewers, I hope you also did. If you have any questions for Sir, mention them down below. Check out Sir's LinkedIn, and if you want to contact him and learn from him, and maybe be guided by him, or just want to ask him more about his story, just contact him. I'll list his social media IDs in the description below, and by the way, viewers, thank you for watching and stay tuned till the next Saturday. And sir, thank you for coming on the show. I learned a lot from you today, and I hope my viewers you also did. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Aditya. And again, I said full compliments to you. You are making the right use of the gadgets and the I said the mobiles and all. This is the correct way, and I would say keep doing the good work. And there's a lot to learn from you also. As I said, learning never stops, whether someone is elder to you or younger to you. So the way the confidently you speak, you conduct, it's amazing. And best wishes for all your ventures in future. Best luck, Aditya. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Last question.
Yeah.
Sir, what are your suggestions for Aditya Talks, which should be incorporated to improve the experience of our viewers, and one unique thing you liked?
As I said, unique thing is your confidence, man. I mean, the way you speak and way you conduct. Even if someone asks me to conduct an interview of someone, I don't know. I'm still not prepared. So that is a unique thing, and as I said, see, I am for me, this is a very new thing. I am not a right person to suggest you further changes. People in this profession will be able to, guide you what changes. For me, it's ultimate what you are doing today. Okay, you are taking experiences of people in different fields and putting it on YouTube so that reaches the masses and people learn. So it's ultimate. So as I said, the suggestion is just keep your good job. Continue a good job. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for the advice, and I hope I learn a lot more from you in the future. And
Yeah. Thank you.
you're certainly now one of my mentors. Thank you, viewers. See you next Saturday.